Kelly, so awesome to have you here. Kelly, we're going to launch right into your topic, your talk. Why don't we, I know that a lot of this has been evolving really quite a bit the last few days even here. Part of that as well is because this summit for us, typically if we were looking to plan a summit, we would plan it months and months in advance. However, because of COVID, we jammed this together in a short period of time. So there has been a lot of evolutions here in the weeks and days coming up to this. Kelly, I was really interested to get your application in as a speaker. Your experience was fascinating to me. Also, just working with one of the largest companies within hospitality and looking at, how do you create an amazing experience? So share with us, please, first share with us the title of your talk, and then give us a little bit of background on who you are and kind of where you're coming from, and then we'll launch into the talk itself.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eric, and the Tourism Management Academy. This is awesome. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm getting a lot of really good information for myself that I'm planning on incorporating. So I'm happy to be a part of the solution here in these like uncharted times that we find ourselves in. So as we talked about earlier, I come from the world of Universal Studios, Hollywood, theme parks. So actually, Eric, I have a PowerPoint presentation that, yep. if it's okay, can I launch a little bit into that?
Yeah, that's actually, I think many of our speakers have a PowerPoint. New Prish is a little bit more off the cuff, which is great. But yeah, if you have a presentation, that's fantastic.
Okay, let me pop that up here. Oh, you disabled my sharing. Would you be able to undisable that?
Let's see if I can.
Good old Zoom.
I know. Because usually, like I said, with webinars before, we usually have just, it's not panelists. We just have straight.
Well, while you're doing that, can I just, I would love.
If I do this, are you able to share now?
Let me see. Let me try it again. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Is that me? Yes, I think so.
Although I don't see your screen yet. I'm just seeing you.
Okay. Okay.
So
I'm going to just take it from the top here. If that's okay. All right. So I've entitled my talk Front Lines, Saving the Red Lines, reinforcing the front lines to save you from the red lines, because really it starts with the people who are in the line of fire there, who are going to be dealing with our guests one-on-one during these trying times. They're going to bear the brunt of everybody's frustrations, as well as they're going to be the first person that they see after they've been cooped up for however long it may be. So at the end of this talk, I hope to offer a solution where you can increase your sales, you can raise your employee satisfaction, as well as provide superior guest satisfaction. So if I could just take a quick poll, why are you here today? Are you here because you are you're concerned about the tourism market as a whole today, like the whole global tourism market? How about who's here because they are more concerned with what's going on specifically for their particular piece of the tourism market? Okay, be most people. Okay, and who is here because they just need a big break from Tiger King on Netflix? That's me. No, it's good to be here today. I'm really happy to be here. Here's the thing. This too shall pass, but in the meantime, there's the meantime. So we're stuck, like we were talking about, it's going to pass, the 90-day strategy I love, but we're stuck in the meantime right now. So we're trying to navigate through the meantime. So how are we going to survive the meantime? Well, as everybody knows, don't panic. We're all in this together. That's why we're sitting here together with this panel. We need to face the facts of what's going on in the industry and then look for the solutions. And I love that we're looking for the solutions together. I'm going to share some solutions from my past experience that actually helped to get the results that I want to share with you, which again are increased sales, phenomenal employee experience, as well as superior guest satisfaction. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Who is this lady? So let me tell you. I'm going to give you my life story in 1 minute because I've only got 20 minutes to talk about, and I do want to give myself some credibility here so you understand why I'm here and what I'm talking about. So I was destined to be in the tourism industry from the start. I was actually born in Orlando, Florida, the year Walt Disney World opened. In fact, my first job was at Shamu's Emporium selling stuffed shamus. I then worked on resort pool decks selling suntan lotion, $100 kits of suntan lotion to people. I was one of the original studio guides at Universal Studios Florida, as well as one of the original game show hosts for Game Lab at Nickelodeon at Universal Studios Florida. I got to travel the world hosting shows for Nickelodeon, racking up those frequent flyer miles, hotel points. In '96, I decided, you know what, it's time for a change from working for Nickelodeon and Universal Florida. So I moved to Los Angeles, where I got a job working for Nickelodeon and Universal Studios Hollywood. That summer of 2005, I was a seasonal supervisor opening the Revenge of the Mummy, the ride. That worked out so well that they offered me a full-time position as supervisor of admission host at the front gate. That worked out so well, they offered me a job as manager of front gate sales and theme park operations. So there's my story in a nutshell in a minute. Now, here's where my solution comes in that I wanted to kind of go over with you. If you notice on my business card, it says front gate sales. So you would think I would be in sales and marketing. However, it has me listed under theme park operations. Well, my job was actually a hybrid between front gate sales and theme park operations. So let me explain what I was in charge of here. So manager of front gate sales. So in 2005, senior leadership made a monumental decision at Universal. So there's the front gate that I used to manage. And these are the ticket booths right here. And these are all these people standing in line, ready to spend their money to get into the park with a one-day ticket. So the leadership said, hey, all these people are coming in with a one-day ticket and we are processing this as an operational transaction. What would happen if we had sales associates at the point of purchase to offer them an even better experience and raise the revenue? So they decided they were missing the boat and they changed the front gate from an operational culture to a sales culture. They needed someone to drive the ship, and that person was me. They actually created this position, manager of front gate sales, specifically for me. So my job was to train, motivate, coach, and set goals for these ticket sellers. I developed the guest model for upselling, which I'll go over in a little bit. And eventually I turned the entire area into a high-performing sales operation. This all paid off because in 2008, the financial crisis hit. And yes, attendance was definitely down. However, our sales were not. Actually, that was our third highest EBITDA we had that year in the 2008 financial crisis. Here's where it gets really interesting. Not only were sales up, ESAT, employee satisfaction, were at record highs for the area, as well were our guest satisfaction records for the area. And we were #1 in mystery shop. So what did this mean? Well, it meant that people were happy to give us money and we were happy to take it. So how did we do it? Well, definitely it was the foresight and leadership was a big part of the equation here. I saw Eric is a marketing guy. He will appreciate that we actually, our president at the time, Larry Kurzweil, was a marketing guy as well. It was he came from the world of marketing, and he saw the potential that we were missing at the front gate. So he worked with Michael Taylor, the general manager, and Tom Williams, the CEO, to start setting the foundation for a sales culture at the front gate. And with that, I was charged with really turning the climate into a sales climate. Again, the guest employee sales transaction upselling technique that I'm going to talk about later on, incentivizing the sales associates. This was huge with this area, and this was not something widely done, and I don't know that it is widely done today, but For every front of the line pass that our sales associates would sell, they got $1. So the front line pass would be $99 and they would take away $1. So the company profited 98 bucks just by incentivizing the sales associate at $1. And what did it do for that sales associate? Well, they're minimum wage. They're in there on minimum wage, making the bare minimum. So if they could get $1 for every front line pass, annual pass they sold, every premium product they sold, it really padded their paycheck. And trust me, I used to do the bonus reports for these guys. And at one point I considered leaving my job to become a ticket seller because they were forking in the bucks, but they were loving it and it was a big motivator for us. Also, Universal at the time had a core value, which was have fun. And I really embraced that. I mean, we're in the business of fun, right? So why not have fun with it? So I got to incorporate, they gave me a budget for contests. So I had all kinds of contests that I would run throughout the years to keep my employees going. If we're going to make it a sales culture, let's make it a sales culture. And part of that is having sales contests. So I had a year-round sales contest going where they would earn tickets based on their sales. And it didn't matter what they were doing, as long as they were selling, I would give them a ticket, and then they could spin the wheel of fortune and win all kinds of fabulous fun and prizes. And then finally, daily coaching and accountability. So my job was really to, basically, I would set goals for them because I am establishing the sales culture. So I would set goals for them. Here's what you're going to be expected to sell today. And then I would post the previous day's numbers on the bulletin board outside where they could see I posted them top seller to bottom seller. Nobody ever wanted to be on the bottom seller of the list. Everybody really wanted to see themselves up towards the top of that roster there. And as well, I would go into the booths. That would be a big part of my job, going into the booths and talking and watching and observing these associates on a daily basis to making sure they were doing my guest experience sales transaction technique, as well as offering, what they needed to do. If I needed to coach on the spot, I would coach on the spot, but most of the time I would come in at the end of their shift and sit down with them, go over their numbers, give them my coaching and feedback on how they could improve their sales. So this investment in them paid off for us. So what is the solution? How is this going to help you? Well, change starts at the front lines. I was in charge of managing the front lines and getting them geared up. This actually, speaking of lines, this is a line that I stood in to go to Trader Joe's this past weekend. It was a half an hour for me just to wait to get into Trader Joe's to give them my money. Why did I wait in this line when I could have just as easily gone into Walmart and not stood in line? I'll tell you why. Because I love the Trader Joe's experience. I love everything about it. I love their products. They have products I can't get anywhere else. I love their Hawaiian shirts. I love their guest experience that they give me. The guest service they have there, every single one of them is top notch. In fact, what you don't see in this line right here, there was actually a lady working the line, walking through the line, making sure everybody was okay, and really servicing the customers while they were standing in line. So yeah, your bottom line starts with your front line, because there's a chance if that person hadn't been there, I might have said, you know what, I'm just gonna leave and go to Walmart. I don't have to wait here. But that person engaging me there, she was giving me that 5-star experience that I really valued and wanted. In fact, I was concerned while I was standing in line that I was going to be standing in line for nothing, because one of the big things I wanted to get when I went there was these Joe-O's. They're like the Trader Joe's knockoff for Oreos. And I said, what if they don't have what I'm looking for? Or will they be able to go get it? And she goes, hey, no worries. Let me go inside and make sure they have it. And if they don't, I'll make sure we put it out there and have it ready for you. I mean, that's 5-star experience. And I'm just a customer standing in line to her. So here's the thing. People are going to be willing to put up with a lot of inconveniences if they know that they are valued. And more than ever, there's going to be some heavy inconveniences that we're going to have to put on our customers, wearing masks, the social distancing. But also people are already stressed out, so they don't want to be even more stressed out. So an exceptional guest experience is going to be essential in the process. every single point of purchase that your employees are having with the guests, every single one of them needs to provide that exceptional guest experience. So I developed, and there's probably a fancy marketing term for this, I'm sure, Eric, but this was what I named it when I was training on it and teaching it at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Kelly, I might bring up just a point just for a second there, because you gave that experience of Trader Joe's, and I got called in to do a keynote a couple of years ago. So I'm not going to claim these numbers are still correct, but what I found really interesting at that time was Trader Joe's was the only large retail store out there that was actually profitable in store. So all the other chains, they're not, like the big ones, of like Walmart or Target or whatever. Yeah. When it came at that time, at least anyway, when it came to their actual store costs, they weren't profitable. They had to try and take things online, and Trader Joe's was just killing it. So just reinforcing that you can look at the experience, but then the question might occur, oh, well, it costs more to do that. So is it profitable to do that? Looking at the back end is extremely profitable. So all those micro experiential moments are huge. So I just thought that's a great example to bring up.
Thank you so much, Eric. And as a little side note, when we moved from California to Charlotte, one of the key factors my husband looked at was, where is the Trader Joe's? Because he wanted to be near the Trader Joe's. It's a brand we knew, we trusted, and we knew that it had the demographic area that we wanted to be a part of. So it was interesting that, that played such a big part in our life and experience. So if it's, and I know that's the same way for many other people as well. So the guest experience sales transaction model, why did I name it the guest experience transaction model? Well, because the guest model, corporate world, I learned, loves acronyms. So again, the acronym guest experience sales transaction. So the story behind this model that I came up with was, if you remember way back when, and I was giving my 1-minute story, I talked about that I was working on resort pool decks selling suntan lotion to the resort pool guests, which, I'm sure, many of you have that as well. What I discovered was I couldn't go up. These were like $20 bottles of lotion that people were expected to buy. So I couldn't just go up to them and say, hi, would you like to buy a $100 bottle of a kit for suntan lotion so you can have a great tan? They would have, kicked me off the deck, and it would have been just like having one of those annoying perfume ladies sitting there with the perfume, not letting you get into Dillard's to do what you want to do. So they didn't want a salesperson, but a service person. I was on the deck every day. I was giving them towels. I was cleaning the deck for the resort. I was talking to the guests. I was finding out where they're going. I was giving them suggestions on restaurants. I was becoming their friend, and I was becoming their suntan expert. So I started off my sales always with, just the base product of a $20 bottle of lotion. And eventually, they would buy that lotion, and I'd say, oh yeah, but you don't want to forget about the pre-sun, another $20. And you want to make sure you get that enhancer, another $20. You want to also get some after sun if you want to keep that tan going, another $20. So by the time all is said and done, they spent $100 on a kit of suntan lotion, not realizing that they had just been sold to. What I learned was guests want to be sold to, but they don't want to know that they're being sold to. So I was selling the product via exceptional guest service. And this is the model that I brought to Universal Studios Hollywood when I was a sales manager. Now, again, our transaction times were 2 to 5 minutes. We had to get through these transactions. Management understood it was going to take a little bit longer for these transactions to happen because we were putting the model into play. However, they knew it was an investment because guests didn't mind that it was taking them a little added extra. So we had to figure out how do we maximize the relationship in the minimal time and maximize the information that we're getting to learn how to sell what we want to sell them in minimal time, and then offer products based on the information that what they received. So this was the model for the 7 steps to success for the guest model: an exceptional greeting, which is where I'm going to establish that relationship in the 2 to 5 minutes that I have. gather information. Where are you visiting from? Everybody loves to tell you where they're from. I'm sure you guys know this. When they're on vacation, they love, it could be the most boring place in the world. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, home of nothing. It's just a nice place, but I'm glad to be here. So they'll tell you where they're from. That starts the building on the relationships, but also gives you information on where you're going to go with the sale. Then you're going to take the order. This is going to give us a base product of what we're going to be selling them today. So we know, okay, here's what they want to get. This is their base product of lotion. And then we're going to tell and then ask. This is where the guest service aspect comes in. We're not going to, the typical ask, tell, like, would you be interested in the front of the line pass? Then that automatically that turns into a sales transaction versus telling and then asking, being the expert. Oh, you know what? You're just here for the day. You might want to really consider getting this front of the line pass. It's going to really increase your time in the park. You're going to have a great time today. And you don't want to stand in line. Who wants to stand? So you pitch the product and then you ask if they want to get it. You take the money and then a genuine thank you at the end. Oh, thanks so much for coming out here today. And then offer a final suggestion for their experience. With that final suggestion, you are, again, enhancing that guest experience for them. So you want to maximize that point of sales opportunity. So people have stimulus money. They're ready to spend it. Like I said, they're itching to get out. I know, I'm planning, I'm saving up. We're going to Ireland for Christmas. I'm ready to go. Upselling is going to be the key in my model through how we survived. So if you don't have products to upsell to or experiences to upsell to, I'd say create them. Like I was talking about earlier, SeaWorld has these animal encounters that they have, or the having dinner with Shamu. We had front of the line passes, we had all you can eat passes, ways to enhance their guest experience, and then use the guest experience sales transaction model to put that into play. So just to kind of show you the difference between a normal sales transaction and the guest experience model. So normal sales, hello, welcome to Universal Studios. What can I get for you? This is our base product. Would you like a front of the line pass? The ask and then tell. Oh no, well, I don't even get a chance to tell them. And it turns into a sales transaction because the guest knows that they're trying to be sold to. Okay, that'll be blank, blank, blank. Thank you, have a nice day. Nothing spectacular about that, okay? Versus the guest model. Hi, welcome to Universal Studios. Oh, I'm so sorry about that wait that you had to wait. As lines are long today, we're really busy. Don't worry, I'm going to take really good care of you. Starting out with a really warm, genuine welcome and setting up that relationship. The guest immediately is happy to be with me. Hey, where are you visiting us from? Again, people love to tell you where they're from. This tells me where I'm going to go with my transaction. I'm from Ohio. Oh, great. Ohio, welcome. Well, we're glad you could make it out here today. All right, now listen, you saw how long those lines were. I'm going to tell you right now, it's busy today. So I'm going to really suggest that you get the front of the line pass, blah, 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 go into my pitch on the front of the line pass, turns it into a concierge situation versus a sales situation. I'm just telling them about the product. They can make up their own mind. Then I'm going to take the money and then I'm going to close by asking if there's anything else they need today. Again, that exceptional guest experience. And then I'm going to genuinely thank them for coming and offer one last suggestion. Oh, thank you so much for, choosing to come to us today. We really appreciate that you're here. You're going to have a blast today. Listen, don't forget, I'm going to give you an insider tip. Go to the sales studio tour. Go to the studio tour first, because the line gets really long later on and you don't want to stand in that big long line. And if you decide later on you want that front of the line pass that you turned me down on, a Hollywood ticket outlet inside the park will set you up if there's some still available. But you're going to have a wonderful time today. If there's anything we can do for you, you just let us know. Have a great day. Enjoy your day at Universal Studios. So really driving home that guest experience for them. But the crystal ball, who knows what the future holds? The only way to see the future is to be the future, I say. The winning strategy that I found is just really starts with the front lines and really bring every point of contact that your employees have with these best. If you take care of these employees, they're going to really take care of your guests. Use the guest service model. Give contests. They love that. Incentivize. Think about incentivizing them. How are you going to think outside the box to make this happen? So in the end, you've got the results that I talked about. You got your happy employees, which are going to lead to happy guests, which is going to lead them to get even more money, spend more money. They're going to tell their friends. Then you're going to have your return business and everybody is a happy camper. So that's that. And, again, thank you for having me out here today, the Tourism Management Academy. Please stay connected with me. Eric, I am past my time here, but I hope I was able to offer something that may be of help to the summit today.
No, that was fascinating. I think that is very, very good information for anyone in hospitality, but especially, I know we do have a number of tour operators on, and I could see that being hyper relevant information to them, because there's lots of opportunities within that to use that model. That was really cool how you broke that down, and that makes it so much easier than just, oh, go out and be nice to them, or whatever you often get in that training, right?
The biggest thing was our lines were long for sure, and people did stand in line longer, but because they got that exceptional guest service at the point of purchase, they were so forgiving. And like I said, our guest satisfaction and mystery shops were through the roof. They were totally good with it. So from that very moment, we started.
That's a really key point. I've heard that from other people within tourism, is that as long as the guest knows that you really care about them and you're doing everything in your power to make that an exceptional experience for them, they will forgive you of mass shortcomings. So so it's good that you were able to hit on that point. Kelly, we are out of time, so I do appreciate very much. I appreciate your talk. If anyone has any questions for Kelly, I don't know that I saw any questions come into the chat or into the question box specifically for that talk.